He left office. His famous speech where he coined the words the military-industrial complex, where he said that with so much money in weapons manufacturing, that the time would not be far off that we would not be manufacturing weapons to fight wars, but we'd be manufacturing wars to manufacture weapons.
To date, over 20,000 people have signed a petition to President Donald Trump demanding he end the U.S. war in Afghanistan. Citing Trump's tweet in 2013 that said, "Let's get out of Afghanistan. Our troops are being killed by the Afghanis we train, and we waste billions there." Nonsense. Rebuild the USA. I spoke to a few people and asked them about Trump's remarks 5 years ago.
Well, there's not much I agree with President Trump on, but I agree with that tweet that he said 5 years ago that the U.S. needs to get out of Afghanistan. I myself was part of the small team that reopened the embassy in Afghanistan in 2001. That was, 18 years ago, really. And at that time, we said the U.S., the ability of the U.S. to do much at all for the social justice issues of Afghanistan is limited by the history of what we know empires have done in that country.
They still want to have access to Afghan resources and pipelines going through Afghanistan because the military-industrial complex needs endless war to keep feeding itself and making money.
A year ago in August, Trump announced that he had thought it over, and he's a big enough man to admit his mistakes, and said that that we are going to stay in Afghanistan. In fact, the war was going to be accelerated. And the media at the time, The Hill had a beautiful piece saying, at last he's acting presidential.
And Washington, Ashley Banks, RT.
Shalom, Yasharala. I'm going to start out by giving infinite honors to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. And salutation and greetings to you, sincere Akim, pushing this truth across the four winds. I'm going to do the sit down about this devil, the so-called white man. It's the Bible. It's the devil the Bible speak of, man. These Hebrew Edomites, man, who the world know as Caucasians. They are the sons and daughters of perdition, and they are they're the father of lies, man. Like the book of Psalms 58 say, when they come out the womb, they come out breathing lies. Now, this clip I just brought out it was a clip, and it started off talking about the war machine, the war industrial complex. That's why they say these Americans are over there in Afghanistan. All right, but I'm gonna go to the scriptures and show that the Americans is over there bearing the sword, raping and robbing the dew of heaven. When Isaac prophesied to Esau, he told him, your dwelling places will be the dew of heaven, and you will live by the sword. Well, when you look at America over there in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Libya, with the exception of Saudi Arabia, all those places, what they have in common is America has bombed them places and taken hold of their natural resources. Okay? Venezuela. They didn't go bomb Venezuela, but look what they did through sanctions and raping their asses with their economy. They have control over there, and next they're gonna be in there taking their fucking oil. All right, so I'm saying that to say this: you look at this motherfucking clip, and it starts off where Donald Trump made a clip 5 years ago saying they needed to get the troops out of Afghanistan. But now that he's in office, he's saying they're going to speed it up and send more troops in Afghanistan. All right? And they're saying they're over there to bring that region peace and liberate the people and kill the warlords, when all this is about is them being drug lords. All right? They're using the sword over there to rape that place of his poppy seeds. It's all of his heroin. And it's just, everything is by design. All right, they're over there. Afghanistan has one of the largest amounts, produces one of the largest amounts of heroin on the planet, poppy seeds on the planet. America has been over there fighting 17 years to gain control of their region so they can have control of the heroin. Now you look the last few years, man, there's been an opioid epidemic over here in the Americas, well, in the States. So as you can see, America has been, I'm gonna bring out a few excerpts and show how as America has been making billions off of dope dealing, drug peddling. They're the hypocrites, man. But the joy of the hypocrite is for a short season. All right. They do it all through Big Pharma. And it's all about is legalizing when it's all witchcraft. They're no different than your average nigga on the corner catching sales, man. They just do it on a far greater scale, man. And by decree and legislation, unrighteous decrees, unrighteous legislation, they say it's okay for them to do it. All right. So I'm gonna read this script. This comes from bookings.education. All right, and it reads: order from chaos. All right. You get order out of chaos. We know that's how the Illuminati roll. Afghanistan opium production is through the roof, while Washington shouldn't overreact. All right. Now this is back in 2017. So I'm gonna get to the point and I'm gonna show you how to take meat off the bones, and I'm not showing you the spirit, man. 2 Corinthians, the second chapter, 11 verse say, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. So all right, he doesn't get a foothold over the precious elect, man. Lord willing, we are the elect, man. All right. Now listen how they word this shit. Birds of a different feather. From 2016 to 2017, the area under opium cultivation in Afghanistan increased by 63% to 328,000 hectares. The estimated total production of opium shot up by 87% to 9,000 metric tons. All right, and I'm gonna pull out another clip and show you how much US dollars all this add up to. That's the most in Afghan history. All right. That's the most in Afghan history. Now, the reason all this production is up is because America has control of the Afghan opium. All right. Now, they're not going to put that in here, but if you got a brain, you know what time it is. All right. Most of the expansion took place in Helmand province, along the hub of Afghan opium production, as well as Taliban insurgency. We all know that America has taken over their region for the most part. Yes, you have a few Afghans still fighting, strapping bombs to themselves fighting, but for the most part, America has seized control over there, especially all the poppy seed land, okay? With the 144,000 HA cultivated with poppy, that province alone surpasses production levels in all of Myanmar, the world's second largest producer of opiates. By cultivation expanded throughout the country, including the north, such as Balkal and Jazawin. Now, this is my thing. Why it wasn't before America came over there, the production wasn't high? Why wasn't it all high before? Why Ishmael had control of his all of that heroin? Because Ishmael was doing his own thing, but it wasn't no need to when I say it wasn't no need, he didn't have the resources to come make money over here in the Americas. All right. The only reason the poppy seed and the opium epidemic is high is because they need it over here in the Americas. All right. And the Americans is paying for that shit through the billion. They are paying for those pills in the billions. All right. That's how America is. Although America is $1 trillion in debt, what's keeping this bitches afloat is they dope dealing. They're drug selling of these opiates, of these poppy seeds. Okay. The current U.S. opiate epidemic is a distressingly deadly one. In 2016, it killed some 64,000 Americans. You see how they put that in red? Like, wow. What about the other people around the planet they kill? Oh, it's all about Americans, all right? I thought everybody was equal. More than double the number in 2005. All right, in 2005, they hadn't got control of the region. They just went in there in 2001. All right, curbing the epidemic is one of the most pressing public health priorities, but neither the addiction nor its death toll are primarily due to Afghan heroin. That's a lie. All right. In fact, Afghan heroin constitutes only a small portion of U.S. opioid consumption. All right, now if you have the intel where you could say this, the only way you could say this if you have to be in Afghan and you have to know what all of the opioids that come to America, for you to have access to their information, you have to have power over these places. So I'm saying that to say this. For them to say how much Afghan dope get over here in America, you have to have done analytics over there in Afghan. And we know America has control over there. So when they tell us, oh, just a small portion come over here, that's a lie. They don't want the masses to know that that's what they're over there for. They're going to give you some bullshit about they trying to liberate the Afghan people when that's the reason they're over there. And they don't want you to know that they're over there for heroin. Your sons, these Americans' sons and daughters is over there dying in a drug war. All right. So they're going to tell you some bullshit like that. All right. Most heroin comes from Mexico and Colombia. That's a lie. Most heroin comes from Afghanistan, okay? And lately, perhaps Guatemala. However, heroin itself is not primary culprit of high rates of overdose. It's fentanyl. And now that's the truth, but that's getting off the topic. And that's real. Motherfuckers dying off that fucking shit. That's what they cut the heroin with. All right. Now look. All right. On this clip, I'm going to show you how much money they're making. This is the whole point. This is the whole point they there. Look at the butts. These are how much this shit is worth in American dollars. Statistics from the CDC, this is the Center for Disease Control, the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, and the United States U.S. Department of Health and Human Service reveal the gravity of the problem. They talk about the heroin epidemic. In 2016, healthcare providers across the U.S. wrote more than 214 million prescriptions for opioid pain medication. So how are you supplying this amount of people with opium? All right, you getting it from Afghanistan, one of the largest places they cultivate the poppy seed. All right, a rate of 66.5 prescriptions per 100. God damn. As many as 1 in 5 receive prescription opioid long terms for non-cancer pain in American care. More than 11 million people abused prescription opioids in 2016. Every day, more than 1,000 people are treated in emergency departments for misusing prescription opioids. More than 40% of all U.S. opioids overdose deaths in 2016 involve a prescription opioid. And that's what they're doing, man. They over there manufacturing it over here, turning it into pills, all right, and giving it to the masses. All right. Drug overdose claimed nearly the lives of nearly 64,000 Americans in 2016. Nearly 2/3 of the deaths, 66%, involved a prescription or illicit opioid. Here we go. This is the part. The Center for Disease estimates that the total economic burden of prescription opioid misuse in the U.S. is $7 to $8 billion a year. All right. And cancer, just this off topic, cancer is like 90-something billion dollars a year. They're big business. Death is big business, including the cost of health care. All right. Now, when they talk about the cost of health care and they're just saying it's a burden, all right, Big Pharma is making the money. That's the whole point. Big Pharma is behind all of this. They're making the money. It's not a burden. It's all by design. Addiction treatment and criminal justice involvement. All that works hand in hand. The criminal justice, these are people that own these private jails and shit. They get paid for every inmate so many $1,000s. So the more you get people on heroin and hooked on heroin, they're gonna do things to get locked up. It's all by design. It's generating billions in this bitch. But they're gonna try to put it like it's a misuse, that it's a burden in the society. When in all actuality, they're making $78 billion a year and more because of this. All right? That's a little misdirection what they trying to hit you with. Like it's a burden and the economy is paying for it. No, the government is benefiting from all of it. And that's what makes the so-called white man the devil the Bible speak of. He's trying to he's playing both sides of the fence. All right. He's the one over there cultivating it, protecting it with his US soldiers. All right. Then he bring it back over here in the States and give it to the big pharma. Big pharma pushes it through the all of a society, and you have an opioid epidemic. But yet, people through their insurance companies, they're buying these buying all this medicine because we live in a sick society. People got bad backs. We live in a cancer society. Cancer is big business. They give $1 billion business in itself, and they give people these opioids, and here you go. Whoop-de-doo. It's all the society of death. The scriptures say when you're American, you made a covenant with death. Death begets death, and death is big business. We're in the valley of the shadow of death, where the so-called white man gets filthy lucre off of death. He gets paid off of sick people. He gets paid off of people going to the prison industrial complex. Okay? He get paid off of people dying, of organ harvest and all of these things. Okay? Now let me go into some precepts, man. All right? This shit all by design, man. The devil the Bible speaker, the so-called white man is the devil the Bible speaker. And then you go back to, I'm going to read the scripture again. You got these silly Americans. They believe everything that's taught to them. Proverbs 14 and 15. The simple believe every word. Your average American, your typical America believe anything they see on media outlets, mainstream media outlets. And mainstream media outlets is 90% lies. But the prudent man looketh well into his going, man. The prudent man seeketh out everything to see if this thing is true. Like the men of the Lord in Berea in the book of Acts, the 17th chapter. It say they sought the scriptures to see if these things were true. Okay? That's how a prudent man get down, man. We don't take everything the mainstream media says to see, and we dissect it and we take the meat off the bones through the spirit. All right? Now I'm gonna bring this precept out. Why this damn devil is over there in motherfucking Afghanistan, ruling with the sword, and he's raping the country off his natural resources. All right, and he's doing it all throughout the planet. All right, it's prophecy being fulfilled. This Genesis 27 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing for me, father? Bless me, even me also, my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept like a bitch. Verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling place should be the fatness of the earth." All right, the fatness of the earth is where you have good resources. Wherever the gold at, this devil that went here and seized the gold, that's fatness. Wherever the oil at, this devil has went there and seized all the oil. All right, that's fatness. Wherever the poppy seeds at, he goes there. He goes to California. You got those vineyards, the wine. He doesn't let the land rest for the Sabbath. And he just had those wine vineyards booming 7 days, 7 years. The year of Jubilee, he don't even let it rest. And guess what? You have landslides, and the people don't know why they have all those landslides and forest fires in California. Is because, look, California has all those thousands of acres of wine where they produce all the wine. They produce beer and all these Salakia, all these fruits and veggies down there, California raisins and oranges and shit, and they don't let the land rest. And guess what? The land gets sucked up, dried up. Now you're having landslides and forest fires. Okay? But that's where Esau dwells. Wherever the natural resources is, he come in, he rape, rob, and murder it. He rapes and pillages it. Salakia. All right? The dwelling shall be in the fatness of the earth and in the dew of heaven from above. So now he's in Afghanistan raping them out of out of their poppy seeds, out of their heroin, okay? And by the sword he shall live. And by the sword he took California. By the sword he's taken Libya. By the sword he's taken Iraq, all right? And with the threat of the sword, he had those Saudi Arabians in his back pocket. By the threat of the sword, all right? And thou shalt serve thy brother, and shall come to pass when y'all shall have the dominion. We're living in a time when he has the dominion, and he's wreaking havoc on the planet Earth. And he just have death wherever he puts his foot. Here comes death. Let me get that precept. This is Revelation 6, verse 8. All right. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him. And power was given to them over far part of the earth to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And you can liken this to the so-called white man. Wherever he go, death follow, hell follow. All right. And he's killing the earth. All right. When the Most High created the poppy seed, he said it was good. All right. When he created creation, he said it was good. But what this devil does, he gets his hand on things, and he uses things abnormally, and he begets death with it, man. All right. This is the land of the valley of the shadow of death, and he's covered the earth with gross darkness through philosophy. All right. And since he had dominion of the earth, wherever he put his foot, whatever landmass he come, it don't matter if he go in Moab, Ammon, wherever he go, war breaks out, death breaks out, and pestilence break out. All right. And this is how this is how he deceived the people of the earth. All right. This is Revelation, the 20th chapter. That's why people believe whatever they hear on the fucking TV, fucking dildo heads. All right. All right. Where that little season? I'm looking for that little season. All right. Here we go. This is Revelation 23. I'm going to start at verse. I'm going to start at 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit. It's talking about during the Dark Ages, when Septimius Severus put them devils in the submission, and shut him up and seal and set a seal upon him, and he should deceive the nations no more. All right. Whenever this devil in power, he deceives the nations. All right. He got our people thinking they're African Americans. All right. Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. We're in this little season where this great dragon is bearing rule upon the earth. All right. He's bearing rule on the earth. He's deceiving the earth, and he's killing the earth. All right. He's chopping down all the trees. He's raping the earth of its natural resources, and he's literally killing the earth. And the earth is trying to fight this devil back through tsunamis, through landslides, through fires, through earthquakes. All right. We're living in a time where the earth and our great king is going to subdue this fucking devil, man. Leviathan going to come out the pit because the devil is wreaking so much havoc, man, on the planet earth, man, and deceiving the peoples and poisoning the peoples, man. All right. Get another precept. What other precept I had on deck? Psalms 58, verse 3. All right, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, and they are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which would not hearken to the voice of charming never so wisely. All right? And that's what this devil do, man. He's beguiled the whole planet, and he's lied to the whole planet, bearing himself as an angel of light when he's deaf himself. And even when he's doing his bidding, he's coming, like when you read about Donald Trump saying that they were going to get all the troops out of Afghanistan when he was running for presidency. Once he get in office, what does he do? His forked tongue, he lies. And he said, I'm going to send more troops there, and we're going to step it up so we can get more heroin over here, man. All right? That's why if you're American, man, you're dead. You're a coast. You're a comatose patient. All right. let me get another precept. This is Isaiah 28, verse 15. All right. Because you have said we have made a covenant with death. When you subscribe to American philosophy, when you adhere to this mass media outlet over here in America and believe whatever you hear, you have made a covenant with death. And with hell are we at agreement. When you deal with this white man and succumb, when you listen to the way he tells history, the way he gives out his philosophies, all right, you are in agreement when you celebrate Christmas. Everything this devil has taught us over here, you've made a covenant with death. This guy is deaf. He's the Bible. He's the devil the Bible speaks of. When the overflowing scourge shall pass, it should not come. You think it should not come to us, for we have made lies our refuge. All right, lies is the refuge over here, man. The devil is the forger of lies, man. And under falsehood, we've hid ourselves, man. So, man, you can't believe shit this fucking devil say, man. The reason there's an opioid epidemic in America is because these devils is over there in Afghanistan raping and pillaging that place of its poppy seeds, turning those poppy seeds into motherfucking oxycodons, oxycontins, what else? What the Roxy's? What these youngsters be over here on? What else is made from heroin? So a lot of them pills made with heroin. Percocets, Percodans, all that fucking shit. It's all about this devil pushing that dope over here, and he's making billions of dollars over here to supply his war machine, to make more nuclear missiles. All right? To make more missiles, getting ready for Armageddon. That's what the majority of America's money go into, their war machine, their sword, man. So with that, man, Lord willing, this sit down was edifying. I'm going to give infinite honors to Yahweh Bashim Awashai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and Kwam Yasharala, death to America. And salutation to you, sincere Akim, pushing the truth across the four winds. Kwam Yasharala.